Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's Jan Guarino, Fearless Watercolors. And today we're going to be doing a winter scene. This is my first Cyber Tuesday special that I've ever run, but I want to thank you all for coming on. And yeah, we'll do this again. Um, I want to show you, I'm going to do a little screen share here of where this photo came from. And share. Okay, here we go. And okay, here we go. So this is going to look like a rather, maybe a scene you might see, take a photo of, but then when you get back to the studio, you're like, all those trees, how am I going to do that? Which is why I chose to crop it down way smaller. So let me just stop the share. So I'm part of this is just always sharing with you guys where my inspiration comes from. And so I love painting birch trees. So I cropped the photograph to this. I made the horizon line a little higher. I took off a lot of trees on both sides. And I really feel the drama is so much on the bottom here, which is not normally where we would put drama, but I love all those colors that sort of come together down here. So I also played with the colors, which of course our phones let us do, right? We can do it with our phones now. The painting that Janine was referring to that's hanging up at the Land Grove is this one. And yeah, I will point out some things that are going on in here. The whites were totally saved on the birch trees, and all the white that was done in the snow is just saved. A hint of trees back here and this stream sort of coming zigzagging towards us. That is a really nice way to carry the viewer's eye through a painting. So I really went to a very specific spot on the photograph. However, I have done this with a very warm glow, and that's exciting too. That cool, snow, that warmth hitting the water. You know, very different approaches in terms of what colors we use. So, if you guys just want to, cast your vote, if we're all like for Team Janine. Give me a hint what you feel, or if you'd rather try this nice warm glow with the reflection.
I'm anti-glow.
So that means you're Team Janine.
Yes.
Okay.
I am
team warm, the one on the right.
I'm team Janine.
I'd like to
Okay.
learn how to do the birch trees.
I like
Team
the
blue.
blue one.
We're going to do birch.
I like the blue one too.
I like the blue.
I like
Okay.
the warm glow.
Okay, good. Okay, good. We're totally divided. We're totally in different teams here. So guess what, guys? I'm going to talk you through one of them, but you can go to the warm glow. Or you could go to the cool one based on the colors that you use. So what is this? This is Quingold Deep, Dragon's Blood, right? That's what we have here. And probably I used a little cerulean in the snow and probably Shadow Violet for the trees. That's it. Those are the colors. Here, I still have a warm glow, not as strong as this one. Probably used raw sienna here, indigo. And I probably made that green with indigo and raw sienna. So you could go in any direction you want, okay?
Jan, if you do the blue one, could you, when you send us the recording, can you send us a picture of the gold one so we could try that on our own?
Yeah, I absolutely could. And you know what? Here's what we could do is, yes, I will definitely include that in. And listen, you're going to get this recording too. So you'll be able to try it again with that warm glow. You know, you'll be able to do that. It's just the colors in the stream change. Now, this one has got a little bit of both. It's got a warm glow on one part with, and yet a lot of coolness. I think I used, looks like I used some Holbein lavender in here. You know, yeah, it looks like a little violet. And even the sky went into two colors. So you guys really have your choices. But I think I kind of heard more Team Janine here. Now, here's the trouble with Team Janine, is that I will be hard pressed to duplicate this painting. I never, ever am able to paint the same way twice. I don't know how people do it, because for me, it's so much about what's happening in the moment that I have to go with the moment. But I think I heard a few more Team Janines, but that glow, we could definitely add a glow in there. And I think that would be nice, you know, here. Although, do I see it in the photo? No. Do I care? No. Exactly. That is part of this thinking that goes on. And it's in the book. I actually say, do I see it? Maybe I see it, yes, but no, I don't want to paint it. You have a choice as to whether or not you paint what you see. There's always that choice that you have, okay? And it doesn't mean, maybe you're observing something that you really love and maybe you don't want it in. So don't let that big photograph or anything that's in here influence what you don't want to have happen. First thing is take your water spray bottle. Hopefully there's a little bit of gum arabic in it. Gum arabic, putting a few drops in here, I learned from Antonio Mazzi. It extends the drying time a little bit, okay? So if your environment, if it tends to dry too fast and you want more activity on your painting, a little more time, add a little gum arabic. It's actually a really nice thing. It increases the flow of the paints. A lot of this is just going to be saved whites. So knowing where to save them is really important. So let's start with this top half. We have some sky here. We have a tree line. We have, you know, let's just get that going where this snow line is right here. Okay. And what you're just going to do is put a little bit of water there. So I'm using, this is a Squirrel Da Vinci. Number.
Is this scrap or is this our picture?
Oh, yeah. I did say I was going to practice, didn't I? Yeah. Thank you.
I just didn't know.
I actually was just going to start painting.
Let's do it. It's okay.
I think we could just start painting. I don't know. I was thinking scrap, but maybe not. Let's just go for it. So, going in between a little bit of the, just adding water. I'm just adding water in between some of the birch trees. A little bit of color will help you. I get that. So let me do that now. So let's go with a really light indigo. So this is my new palette that I got in Italy. This is my indigo over here. And what's great about it is I'm able to pull it out and I have a nice long well to do it. And I'm just going to drop in a little bit of the indigo just on that backdrop a little bit and go into the sky, because it could be a nice way to just start. You know, part of this too is just getting rid of the whites on the paper. This way you can see a little bit of the sheen going on, just a light. I think we'll add some glow. The whites, when you save your whites, they become a little bit more distinctive and unique. So I do really love the idea of saving your whites without masking fluid. One thing about these squirrels is they do shed.
Jan, is that moon glow or
This is indigo.
it's indigo? Okay,
It's just a very, very, very light wash of indigo.
okay. I was just playing with moon glow and the other one that you just got us.
Shadow violet, yes.
Yeah, shadow violet. And the moon glow has a lot more purple in it than the shadow violet.
That's true. That's true. The shadow violet is definitely, yeah, drop a little moon glow or shadow violet in there and let it kind of granulate. Yes, that is the difference between those two colors. They will granulate and become, the moon glow comes a little bit more violet, yes, and the shadow violet, it does break into blues and pinks, but it's a little bit grayer. And I'll use it to tone my colors down. That's all I did, guys. It was just a little bit of color in between these trees. Okay. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Do I want it to be? Absolutely not. So if we want a little bit of a glow, let's go ahead and maybe try a little bit of, depending on how intense you want it to be, I'll add a little bit of, now I want to think about the reflection. So if I want the reflection to be more over here, I'll add my sun maybe about here. And that was a little bit of raw sienna, very wet into wet. If you don't have raw sienna, you could use a little Quin Gold. Let's drop a little bit of Quin Gold or Quin Gold Deep in there, just a little bit to deepen it, and let it dissipate so that it really just is very suggestive. Now, see, like when things like that happen, I don't really worry about it too much. Don't worry about very much. When we worry too much about our paintings so early on, we really are coming from a place of fear, and then it tightens us up, right? So with my rigor, I'm just kind of coming down and I'm just giving it like some of those trunks of trees in the background, just to give a suggestion, just so you don't have just a straight line there. Okay, just bringing it down with my rigor. Again, it's very light. But it also indicates more of a tree line rather than just a straight line, and that there's a lot of trees, right? Now, do not line them up like a pile of soldiers, definitely have them be, a little irregular, there's a lot of trees there, so they're not lined up. This is a forest, so, you want to definitely have them be forest-like. Yeah, so that little bit of moon glow that I added in there, that's nice. I like that. If you get a little interested in adding a little bit more trees, just drop some more, have it kind of come down. Don't have them come down to that stream a little bit, but don't put them everywhere. And if you want to melt some of these marks, just take your ever shedding, this brush is going to end up with no hair on it at one point, and just with the tip of your brush, melt some of those marks into that white snow there. Just make it nice and soft. So that's all I did so far. So I do have a little bit of a glow. And I always like to have a number 8 or 10 round handy, because these are really, oh, that came apart. Okay, we have to glue that one back together. Okay, here we go. Here's another one. Okay. And if you'd like, just go in and to the tops of the trees, because it is in the photo, and I think it's a nice thing to observe, is the tips of the trees do have a nice sort of edge to them. So I'm just going in and I'm just with a little bit of, you could use your moon glow, you could use your indigo, and just with the tip, it'll be very soft because this is super wet. And of course, each of us have slightly different environment here. You know, if we're here in the Northeast, it's going to be a bit warm in our rooms because we have the heat going. Florida, I heard, is a little cooler, you know, going on. And just go in between some of those branches of the nice birch trees. And just take your brush and let it dance. Let it dance for you. Let it just. And now I have this nice feeling of the edges of the trees on the horizon. And if you want a little bit of that glow sort of coming through some of the trees, again, this is super wet. Maybe just drop a little bit of, that's a little Quin Gold Deep, just maybe coming through some of the tree branches. And don't get crazy about what it looks like right now because this is just our first brush. It's okay. I see this drama kind of in here, this nice darkness. I think that that's nice. I'm going to go for a little bit of it, but I may not put it everywhere. So I'm just going to, again, play a little bit with my, with what I see happening on the paper. I know, I went right to painting. No warm up. I just love seeing what happens. Sometimes my warm up is, you know, I do what I did on my warm up, and I'm like, how do I get that back? It's not always easy to get the same thing back. So sometimes doing a warm up is.
Jan, are you using indigo now in that color or is that a purple?
Yeah, it's just, no, it's moon glow, and I haven't changed my colors yet, so it's still moon glow and indigo.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, if you like the idea of maybe some of this turning into little crystals, drop a tiny bit of salt in, and it will just create maybe a little bit of feeling of snow crystals. Right now, the trickiest part is sort of just painting a little bit in between these trees. That's kind of the trickiest part, but I'm not really, as you could see, let me go closer, it's not really too perfect, which is okay. That works that it isn't too perfect. And this was, a student had come into a class one time, and we were talking about what it is we're looking to do. And for me, it's the art of suggestion. And that's what I'm looking to achieve here, is just that feeling of, I want to suggest the subject. I don't want to replicate it. Precisely, I want to interpret it, and I want to make it painterly. I want to make it my own. And so that's what I'm looking to achieve when I'm painting. I want to make it, and sometimes I'll hear, oh, well, it looks better than the photo. Well, that's kind of nice to hear, you know. It's like, it's just nothing that I want to. I'm never going to be a realistic painter. I don't want to be. I want to be painterly. And that art of suggestion is huge. So we have a nice glow going on, okay? So maybe we'll get a little bit of, now, of course, if you want more glow, just use more of your Quinn Gold Deep. That will help you achieve that. I think it's going to be probably a hybrid is what I'm thinking it's going to turn out to be. So we'll be a few different brooches here. So I do love that log going right across there. I think that's absolutely great. I kept that in. It was a very nice attraction. So what am I doing now? All I am with a little bit of indigo is just suggesting the stream, okay? I'm just giving it a little bit of a suggestion. You could go through the log because the log is going to be darker. Now, I do want to just take my scrap piece of paper here and just show you if I want to see what happens when I mix indigo with my Quinn Gold Deep, which is an orangey color. And look at that, I have brown. Can everybody see that? Let me put this over here. It created a beautiful brown, much nicer than if I had gone for a brown. So if you could limit your palette to a few different colors, it will give you the opportunity to harmonize your painting with what we call bridging the palette. That is a wonderful thing to attempt to do. And I'm just going to have the stream go right back there. Now this glow is going to start coming in here. So this is really, we sort of came to a critical point. Don't tighten up on me. But if I take my brush, and I'm going to use a pointed number 10 to just add water. You could see a little bit of the tint of the indigo. It's just a light tint. And I'm trying to follow the zigzags of that stream because it does make it so incredibly charming. And I'm going to take a little bit of my Quinn Gold Deep and I'm going to drop it in. I'm thinking right about here. So that's kind of why it's a little bit of a impasse early on, is we want to get that feeling of the color sort of morphing and shifting and going into a wet area early on, right? We want to get that feel. And although I added a lot of water, I will share with you that adding a lot of color now, particularly into areas that you want to have to really speak. Don't let this dry, okay? I am pushing, let me go closer, show you. I'm pushing on the barrel of my brush so that my tip is touching the paint, but the barrel is touching the paper. So that's how I don't get a hard edge. And then you could drop in what I call charging into these areas watch it to make sure it doesn't turn too light, because it will with water. That's what I was going to say before. So because I was on the barrel of my brush, it kept it to being very soft. And now I have a nice soft glow coming down. I don't have a hard edge. The only place I have a hard edge are these spots on the edges here where the water is meeting up with those snowbanks. Keeping this soft. Don't let this dry. Don't let the environment that you're in create a dry edge here. Keep it really wet. I'm pressing down. I'm on the barrel of my brush. I'm not here. I'm pressing down. And that's an important way in which you get to get a really nice effect. I'm dropping in a little bit of moon glow because I have it elsewhere, and I just want to make sure it's everywhere. If your brush is too small for the area you're working, switch to a bigger brush. You want that glow to really come down, really add it into those wet areas. Gently. You don't want it to come in where you're adding so much color that it's staining. You want it to release it from the tip of your brush. Really just release it and have it go into those areas. If you press too hard, there's be a lot of pigment that you may not want. But just releasing it from your brush is a nice way to think about it. Now that's looking nice. Oh, and I got nice crystals going on up here with the snow. That's came out nice. Keep this bottom really soft, really soft. That is it. That is the... I'm sorry, did somebody have a question?
Jane, can you please move the paper up?
Yeah, I'm just really adding water. Yeah, I can't back out. Okay, so here I am in the whole painting. So this is just water now. So now I really have the opportunity to drop in some nice, deep, rich colors. Now, this is another reason why I don't work on an angle, is because I want to I want to tilt my paper how I want to tilt it. So because my paper is wet on the bottom, I'm able to drop in that nice, deep, rich color on the bottom. And I'm not pushing it around. I'm simply letting it move into the wet area. This is scary, right? Isn't that scary? Oh, please, it's fine. And just tilt your paper. Watch it, tilt it. Really watch what's going on, the granulation and the beautiful things that are being released from your paint. Your paint is very, very smart. It's smarter than we are. It knows what to do. So notice I drop my color in from, my paper's already dry because it's warm from the heat that I have going on in the house. So where I'm adding color is really in this lower corner. That's where I keep adding it here. I'm keeping an eye on where it's going above it too. I am keeping an eye on that. Got a little stuck here, so I'm just going to simply give it a little bit of moisture with the tip of my brush. I don't want to disturb what's happening because I like what's happening. And play with your paper. It's how it tilts. Now, the other thing you could do, if you're not good at adding water into an area, use your spray bottle and just give it some moisture so it moves, right? That added a lot of water, and that also added a lot of drying time because I have the gum arabic in my arsenal. And someone should mute for me. So I'm dropping color in here. It is a feather touch, guys, a feather touch, because these are highly that quinacridone gold is so highly pigmented. You got to be really careful about dropping it in like I just did. That's why I use a feather touch to do it. And now I'm just curling my paper. You may ask why I'm using 300. I'm using 300 because I had a sheet and I didn't want the sizing to go bad. Don't save your paper, guys. It can and does go bad. And I know nothing about resizing paper. I know nothing about that. Find a good spot to release your color. Don't do it in the middle of the painting. That's going to, unless it's just that feather touch that I was talking about. Be very cognizant of that and watch where everything is. When you let the paint do the work, as I'm doing here, right, as I'm demoing, what you're doing is you're really releasing the smart of the paper, of the paper and the paints. These paints are very, very, very smart. Now I'm going to add yet another color, and it's going to be cerulean. Cerulean is a great color for snow. Now, if you have the core that I have, it's very bossy. It's got something in it that is really crazy. That just lets it take over. What it is, I couldn't say. They told me, I don't remember. I just see it, what's happening. So I just dropped in a little bit of cerulean. And I am watching all of this just marbleize and do incredible things for my painting. And I guarantee whatever is happening as a result of you tilting it and letting it paint itself is going to be really more interesting and more painterly than if you push it around with your brush. So as I go in here, it is a feather touch because this paint is just so incredibly bossy. I'll have to read up on exactly why that is, but I don't recall off the top of my head. Now, if you want more of the glow, clean your brush. Pull a little bit more Quin Gold out of your well. Look for a nice wet spot on your paper and let it kind of come in. I just kind of gave it a little bit more areas that maybe that Quin Gold is just hitting the water. So we'll get a little bit of both. We'll get a little bit of the glow that everybody liked and the feeling that we got from the other piece. Team Janine, I'll call it. Well, because the sun is back here, okay, what's going to happen with these embankments coming down to the stream is that it will be darker right on this side. So if you drop in a little bit of, and I want it to be soft, so it's very wet, so it's really spreading, right? So I'm adding, see how that looks like a shadow? It says where the sun is coming and where the shadow is. So these are not outlined on both sides. The sun, let me point this out to you, this is really important. The sun is hitting this top part of the snow, right? So it's the other side, the bottom side, that will carry more depth, more shadow, darker. And we want that to be there because, boy, that's good stuff. That really says so much. But it's not all around. Do not let it go all the way around. Would look wrong. It just wouldn't be what it's not. It's not even what we see in the well, you know, we do see some brown going around. I think that's just where perhaps the embankment doesn't have snow. But generally speaking, here, let me point this out to you guys on this one. So on this one, you could see it's just on the underside, it's not on the top. Leave that white, have it come on the bottom, on the bottom, on the bottom, on the bottom. So that will give you a sense of direction, really important. And of course, we're going to dry brush all of that beautiful twigs and whatnot and reflections in the water. That you could drop in a little bit of that if you wanted to now. Some of the trees kind of coming down. It'll be soft, which is nice. Another fun thing that you could do if you wanted to is take your brush with just a little bit of water and just drop in some reflections of just using your water. And so what that'll do is that'll push the color aside and it'll create these beautiful white reflections. Play with this. This is really, this and then we'll go and do the birch trees and we'll add some shadows and whatnot to the snow embankment. That'll be nice. But right now, just concentrate on making this as beautiful and as colorful as you want it to be. Just stay here. There's something in the photo that I really like. Let me point it out to you. I like these reflections of these trees right in here in the water. So now may be a good time to add something like that with your rigger. So what I'm doing is I'm mimicking the trees up here in the water below. And it's a little damp, so it will melt the marks nicely. Even if it's dry, it should be okay. And just use a little bit of moon glow, a little bit of indigo. I think it's so important to see what's happening on your paper and really fall in love with that and go with that as opposed to being so absolutely married to the photograph. And remember to make them look like a forest. Don't have them be all even and perfect. And if that's happening, take your brush and just melt the marks a little bit. Just take your brush and just with the tip, just melt them down a little bit. You're in control. And there is a bit of a chaos that happens, you know, when we're painting in watercolor, but that's just understanding that that's just going to happen and then building on top of that, right? So you let this kind of chaos happen and this spontaneity occur, and then you deal with what the aftermath is. What a great way to look at watercolor. Something's going to happen. It's going to be bigger than me. What's happening is bigger than me. So I'm going to let it be. I'm going to let it be a watercolor. And you'll notice that like I'm playing with like where I'm going a little darker, maybe where I'm going a little bit lighter. I'm not making it all matchy-matchy. And that's where I am. Is this enough? I don't know. I'm not sure. What I do want to be sure that I do is just get those nice shadows going. That is for sure, these embankment shadows. And so what I do is I'll just go in and just charge it up a little bit more here and there. And it helps carry your eye down, right? You want to direct the viewer's eye through your painting. And these little darks do exactly that. I don't use a paper towel. For anybody that's new in the class, I use a drying mat. This is a dish drying mat. And I often, well, you'll see me just tap it with my brush. It's hard to see because it's black, but uh, I'll tap, once I clean my brush, I'll tap it to get rid of the extra water that is on my brush. So I'm not going into my painting with so much water. So controlling how much water is on your brushes is really important. That's a big part of it. And if you're so inclined, if you could take your dot sprayer, if you have one, prime it in your water bowl a little bit. And then when you come out of it, you could just tap it a little bit and get some nice watercolor droplets. And so that created, see these nice little watercolor blossoms that I have going on. Again, this is like one of the great things about watercolors, that it will do this for you. And that's pretty cool, you know, that we have that kind of experience. The other thing you could do if you wanted to is just maybe tap a little bit of, if you don't have a dot spray, you could just tap a little color or a little bit of paint in your water. And that makes it look glistening and it gives it an excitement. So once you get enough color on your water stream, then you want to go ahead and do something like that.
Would you say that again?
So the way that I got these watercolor droplets, if you don't have a dot sprayer, what you could do is just tap with either water on your brush or a little color on your brush, and it'll give you these droplets that are spreading, because this is still pretty wet, what's going on in my painting. It's still pretty wet. So it gives me a chance to just get these beautiful, I'll go a little closer and show you these watercolor blossoms that appeared. And it just makes it look watercolor-ish. That's, you know, an interesting sort of part of this. Now, I do want to add a lot of branches and whatnot, because the birch trees, the branches are really up here off of the paper, right? But we know there's branches, so we're going to add branches down here when it's dry. just got nice. So these are not two, these are watercolor effects. So the salt up here, feeling a little glistening. Maybe the icicles are melting due to the sun hitting it, and as we know it does. And then these watercolor blossoms down here, just a hint in a few spots. And I think next is going to be nice to do a little bit. I'm sorry?
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I want to show you how I want to do the birch trees. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to demo a little bit for you on a scrap piece of paper. So let me get a pencil here. So the way to do birch trees is usually a few, 2 or 3 branches kind of coming from one area. So there's a birch tree there. It's a dry brush feel. And what's nice to use is perhaps your tri-wedge. If you don't have one, I'll give you another choice of something to do. So on the barrel, let me go closer. On the barrel of my brush, I'm using the texture of the paper to get me a lot of indigo. You don't want this to be watered down. So a lot of you have had a little bit of a struggle with the tri-wedge. I love it because of that point, and yet I could still be on the barrel. And, these branches, these trunks of the birches are just so beautiful. And it gives you a really nice markings of a birch tree. So I'm on the barrel, and then I go to the tip. So I just did an enlargement of it. I go to the tip. Now, if you don't have that, and you just have like a number 10, first of all, I highly, highly, highly recommend you get these King Art tri-wedge brushes. Christmas is coming. Hanukkah's around the corner. You deserve it. So just get a set of these. But I tend to use the number 8. I like the 8. Feels about right. Depends what size painting I'm working. So if you don't have a tri-wedge, you can take a number 10. You need to have it be not too much water, and you could still be on the barrel, and you could skip your marks that way. Let me go over here. I just love the effect that tri-wedge gives me. So there's no pattern on these. The pattern is there's no pattern. But it's a birch just by looking at that. So when I'm pulling the color out of my well, I'm making sure that I have more paint than water. I don't have a whole lot of paint on my brush. So practice this before you do it on your painting. And get the tri-wedges. They're so much fun. I'll just show you a few of them that I have. So this is part of a set. I'm missing one, but this is the 8, the 10, and the 12. There they are. So if I was working larger, of course, I'd go to the 12. 8 seems to be working pretty good. So lots of paint, not too much water. And if you wanted to grab a little bit of moon glow with your indigo, then you'd really be what? Bridging the palette. And you're deepening the color too. And you're making these really exquisite little marks. And if we stop now, we totally know that is a birch tree. So really, I'm just kind of getting myself off of this that I'm letting it set. I'm happy with the color. I'm happy with everything that happened. Maybe I'll glaze a little bit more later. I don't know. But I'm going to let that be for now. And I'm going to work on my birch trees. So a little bit of moon glow and indigo on my brush. I don't mix it. I just have it appear on my brush. Watch to make sure you don't create too much of a pattern. It's our tendency to want to do that. Right now, leave it as less is more. You can always add more later on. You know, I just thought of something. I thought of it, then I forgot that I thought it, and I think I'm going to try it. I'm going to take a tiny bit of, on a clean brush, a tiny bit of my Quin Gold, and I'm just going to give a little bit, not everywhere, but maybe a little bit of a glow on that right side of the tree. I just thought of it, but I think it'd be very nice if we did that. Not everywhere, just a little hint here and there, really to feel that warm sun hitting it. And if I do it on that side, I could do it a little bit on this side. I think that's nice, just a little bit of a hint. And again, we are deviating. I'm just going to go back to this. We have deviated so far from this. This was our inspiration, but we are not bound to it. So I like that idea of, giving you guys permission, to, if you see it in the photo and you like it, do it. If you see it and you're like, you're dreading it, don't do it. Just don't. Change it. Make it your own. So I just add a little bit of a glow. Not everywhere, but just a hint of it here and there. Be harder to do it afterwards, so do it before. And so again, for those birch marks, it's a lot of paint and very little water to get those little dry brush marks. And they probably get a little smaller as you come up the branches. Watch to make sure you don't create a pattern. Less is more for now. We can always go back in and add more later on. Force yourself to give yourself a little bit of space and hesitate. Pause for just a moment, stand up, squint, see if you like what you're doing. Also, I want to point out, I'm not here on my brush, I'm way back here. And that helps me get a looser, more calligraphic mark. I'm not holding it so tight. And as you get with the trees in the background, just make sure your marks get equally small. So you'll notice I'm going into my palette and I'm grabbing both colors. I'm really not worried about contamination or anything like that. It just doesn't worry me at all. I can always clean it up later if I really am that concerned about colors going into each other. Now, you can also, just a little something you could do, you could also just connect some of these little indigo and just create a shadow on one side of your trees. So just to connect it a little bit, create a little bit of a shadow. Not everywhere, but find some spots. It just makes it look three-dimensional. See how that just shifted that? Just made it look a little three-dimensional. Rounded. See, once we get all this intense painting of letting it go done, then we could go in and really have some fun and add our details as we love to, as we want, as you have the opportunity to go in and really discuss your style and your approach and the things that you love your way, making it your own, right? Making it your own. That's the goal. Isn't to paint like me or like anybody else. The goal is to find you in your paintings, the things that make you happy. Add those details, add the things that you really love. Yeah, Moonglow and Indigo they really love salt. It's really fun to see what happens with that. Yeah, treat yourself to these tri-wedges. It holds a nice tip. That's one of the reasons why I love it so much. But yet it's not like a little 000. It's got guts. It's got beef to it. It's got some really nice substance. So I'll use the barrel of that brush to help me achieve some of these marks. And guess what? If you didn't draw enough birch trees and you wanted to add more, even with this background here, I could add more and more birch trees, even though it's there, the darks will show up, which is fun, right? Let me just say that again. You could add more birch trees to your painting, even though you have this is a very light wash in the background, guys. So you could really go ahead and add way more if you wanted to. does give you a really nice opportunity to observe nature a whole lot. And then amplify it, make it your own, make it more dramatic, shift it. I love that so many of you wanted it to resemble the glow, or we got the glow. We have the birches. I love birch trees. They're just so great. And that is so much of what I love about expressing to you guys in terms of watercolor, being free with it and not worrying about so many pieces, giving yourself a chance to really explore the medium and let it do something really special for you. Key here is to make sure there's enough paint on your brush that you don't have to go back into it. Okay, that's really important. Not that we couldn't, by the way. If I wanted to make some of these marks a little bit darker as they're drying, I sure can. And you get to the bottom of where the tree is touching the snow, take a clean, damp brush and melt it, literally just melt those marks into the snow so you don't have little stubs. You want that snow to just really feel like it's just sucking the tree right into it. I just dropped a little bit of cerulean into it. I'll do it over here and show you what I mean. So as you come to the bottom, you want to just melt it with a clean brush into the snow, so you don't end up with a stub. I'll do it over here. Feather up, feather down. And this way, you really feel the tree just going right into the snow. So here, I only really have one branch here, but I know I want to add another one. So just by these little markings, I could add another branch, easy. The suggestion of a branch, the art of suggestion. It's so big. And you know, it's something that I feel I don't see enough of, is the taking those chances. As soon as you go on your own, you probably tend to tighten up. You're not sure, you know, where to go, what to do, how you want to approach it, what do you change. And that was really the reason for the book, was really to give you the thoughts you need to think when you're working, you know, on your own, which of course is the goal of this, is to really have it be something you want to work on your own, you know, do your own. I want to paint this, I want to paint that. I took this photo, you know, my friend took this photo. I want to, you know, you want to see what you could do with it. And so that's what this thinking is about. That was the reason for the book. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a little chance to get your birch trees done. So we really have a lot of great basics for this and a lot of nice details and a lot of loose stuff going on, which is really the elements that really help this kind of painting work so well. So the things that I would like to do next are these embankments, kind of separating them a little bit. And I think that it would be really nice to do that with, let's see, probably, I do really like cerulean for snow. But I want to tone it down a little bit. So we could tone it down with a little bit of indigo, or maybe with, we can add a little bit of moon glow. So again, to separate them, we just want to hint them a little bit with a little bit of color just to suggest it. I think I want more cerulean in there just to change up the colors a little bit. So I'm just going to add a little bit, hold on one second. Okay, keep this really soft, but you want it to be present. I did indicate it with certain markings that I'd like for you to sort of work with. So cerulean is just one of those great colors that just says snow so beautifully. And they could be as hard or as soft as you want them to be. They don't even have to be hard on both sides. You can feather them out on the other side. But it does sort of start giving you a feeling of these snow embankments. So really pulling this cerulean out in that well. And the marks, this is very similar to what we talk about when we do water, waves or whatever. They're smaller, thinner, closer together as you move back. And as you come forward, they're larger and further apart. It says distance, it says close up. So these are smaller and closer, further away. As you come towards us, we have more distance and they're larger. We always think of perspective as a way in which we use buildings, but perspective is so much more than that. This is more subtle, perhaps, but still equally as important. And if you have to get your bigger marks in front, go with a bigger brush. It's always a good rule of thumb is to not stick with a brush that's in your hand just because it happens to be the one in your hand. Don't do that. Switch it up. Have them all ready to go. They're right on your right-hand side. If you're right-handed, have everything on your right-hand side. My paint, my brushes, and my water is all on my right side, along with my drawing mat. If I'm left-handed, I would have it just the opposite. I would have everything on my left side. So that's always a good little rule of thumb, is to have that work that way. Now I'm going to try something. Let's see if this works. I'm going to take a little bit of my Quin Gold Deep, and I'm just going to hit it a little bit on some of these areas. And I think that, again, we are so far from our source, but I think it ties it together nicely. I like it. Wherever you can do that, that is a really good thing to do. Bridging the palette, putting colors that are elsewhere in the painting, in your painting, in unexpected places and in unusual ways. This brush is going to be absolutely nothing on it by the time, I don't know, it just seems to always lose bristles. I did complain about it, and it does really help to complain about things like that. I'll give you an example, and I've told the story. I had ordered some Saunders Waterford paper, which I've used many times, and it works really, really well. But this particular batch that I got was absorbing like, I don't know, like you got to be kidding me. It was so poor. It was taking the paint so poorly. And so I called up and I spoke to the folks at Blix where I had gotten it. And they're like, sounds like you got a bad batch. And I'm like, well, what, what do you think happened? He's like, it sounds like the sizing went bad. And I'm like, the sizing went bad. I'd never heard of that happening. And they replaced the whole thing. They replaced the whole thing. So this is good for you guys to know when you do order from Blix, they'll, your order, if anything should go wrong, they'll honor it for up to a year if you're not happy. So that's really, really got you covered on that one. Okay, now I have some nice snow shadows. I'm thinking I want like one area here or here. So I want to carry the eye through the painting a little bit more. How am I going to do that? I think I could push one side or the other, not both sides of our forest, just push it a little bit more. So I'm going to go over here and make this a little bit darker. I'm using my tri-wedge. I'm not, the reason why I'm doing it is I just want I want the eye to kind of come from here and to go into it. The stream is carrying me into it, but I want it to start a little bit more definitively up here. Yours may be okay. You may not need to do this. And also, now it kind of makes sense now that I look at it that I'm doing this because it's a little further from the sun. So it's a little more dramatic in shadow over here. I just thought of that. Sometimes, you'll find yourself doing something intuitively. And then if you kind of take it apart and figure out why did I go to this side? It makes sense why I did it. And if it doesn't, don't worry about it. It's your story. It's your painting. You could do what you want. Now you could totally see how you could go warmer with this or cooler. It really is your choice. Just want those treetops to go soft. Now this is also doing something else. It's helping push the whites of the birch trees forward a little bit. The whites that we saved. Because what do we say about color and contrast is Color gets the credit, but contrast does the work. So what does that mean? I'm adding contrast up here. The more contrast I add, the greater it pushes all the colors forward. Contrast does the work. Color gets the credit. Okay. I want to go back to some of those browns that we talked about before. And this is still drying, so I don't want to add my tree reflections in here just yet. But I wanted to try to mix a little bit of a brown, and I will mix this. And I'll take some of my indigo. I just have some indigo in this palette, extra palette. And I'm going to try a little bit of raw sienna, see what that gets me. It's a little green. What if I add a little bit of my purple moon glow? And nope, I'm not happy with that either. So I think I'm going to take my Quin Gold Deep, and let me just get a scrap piece of paper here. Take my Quin Gold Deep, and the complement to that is going to be a violet. So let me take a little bit of my moon glow and see if I get, yeah, I'm not happy with that either. Oh, okay. This is nice. Okay, this is actually taking the Quin Gold. This is all the three colors. The Quin Gold, the indigo, and a little bit of moon glow. Those are the three colors that I'm mixing to get this brown color. Now, you could just go for brown, absolutely. But what happens when this granulates is that all the colors show up, and it makes it a much more interesting color than just brown. I'm thinking if there's another color we could throw in here that would actually, I do want to add the grasses, and I think some raw sienna would be really nice with that. And I'm just going to show you what I mean with that. Taking my, let's just change the subject a little bit from the brown to a little bit of these grasses that are there, which I do love. This is, let me go closer for you. This is my raw sienna using a rigger. If you want to go a little deeper, try adding a little bit of your.
Jan, we can't see you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Perfect.
My extra set of eyes. So these tall grasses, right, that are sort of along the edge, the water's edge, they should be bigger and a little bit more distance between the branches as you are closer, and tinier, itsy bitsy as you get further away. That's really, really important, guys. So I wanted to just kind of demo that for you. And of course, you could follow the photograph on how to do that. And again, when it comes to the bottom, it's nice to melt these marks into the snow. So I'll definitely be doing a lot of that. Okay. But I feel like it needs something to really pop the color, and it's not popping just yet for me. And I'm thinking, going a little crazy. Adding a little pink, a little pinky purple color. I'm not sure exactly why. It just feels kind of like right that I add a little bit of that. If you have a little Rosino violet, that's kind of nice. If you have rose of ultramarine, those are, pinks and warm violets. And that kind of looks a little nice. It's bringing it to life a little bit. So that would reflect down here. This is all dry, so I'm able to drop in. Yeah, that's sparking it up a little bit. Working really super kind of intuitively here. Just wasn't happy. The colors just didn't have enough zip for me. But I like that. Feels a little more alive to me. It's kind of just on one side. Let's see what we're going to do about that. I'm playing here. I am. I'm not going to kid you. I really am. Just kind of like it. I'm kind of going into my Berzino violet and my rose of ultramarine a little bit together. Yes. So we do say if you do it in one place, find another place for it, right? So I'm going to find another place for it. We are so far from what we started out with, guys. It's really kind of pretty funny. So I just add a little pink over on some of my birch trees. Why? I don't know. Feels right. I showed you how to do grasses. The thing that is really so much of the conversation of this particular painting is going to be in here. This is big. This is talking about the rest of the trees. So I want to get that brown color going for you guys. So let me take I'm going to go to my go-to, which is my Dragon's Blood, which is my cool red and a little bit of indigo. And that always creates a nice brown for me. Yep, there you go. Good old Dragon's Blood and indigo. If you don't have Dragon's Blood, get it. It's just my little mixing bowls here. If you, it's by a company called Mamari, Maimeri. And yeah, it's just wonderful, wonderful colors. Their indigo is spot on perfect, as is their indigo, best indigo on the planet. So I'm adding a little bit of this brown color into that area that is the embankment going into the water, creating an extra deeper shadow. And just warming it up a little bit. Because the Dragon's Blood, it's an orange. The closest that you would have to it would probably be a burnt sienna. Not a color that I use very often. If you want to allow a little bit of this color to come into your painting, like those brown spots that are going on, yeah, just kind of let them come in a little bit. Now look, I just created a pattern. Do you see what I just did? This is important for you to see that I do this also. Even distance, even. It's too even. Stop it, Jan. Just gonna melt that out. Make one bigger. Yeah, it's amazing how we do that so easily. I just did it in front of your eyes. If you see it, try to interrupt it and do something else with it. That's just adding a little warmth to that side, as if the sun is melting that side a little bit. Again, I'm making up a story here, but those things actually do happen in our, in our landscapes. smaller, thinner, finer marks as you're in the background. Very important. Says distance. Oh, and I do want to put that log going across. I want to get into the branches. So this is really scary, but this is it, guys. This is what it's going to take. So I'm going to take my indigo with a little bit of my moon glow, and I'm going to start these branches coming down in the water. This is the biggest part of this painting is right here. The rest of it was just for this to happen. And we will be using our riggers to get those fine branches because that's really, really important. Got to have these, you got to do it. This is what's going to finish it up.
Jan, are any of the white spots from the white birch in the reflection in the water?
Not really. No. No. Not in mine, at least. Yeah, I don't think so. If I look at the photograph, Amy, I don't see it at all. So in that respect, I'm going with what I see in the photo for my idea of what to do with this. So I'm going to say no, don't save whites in there. Okay, and I'm just going to start doing the branches, guys. Using my rigger. And really have them, I mean, this is not a bad place to really observe the photo of how these go straight across your stream. And really just keep building these.
Jen, I have a question. It's Dana. Is
Yes.
the bottom of your paper wet, still wet or
This is
moist? or
completely
is it
dry.
fine?
Completely
Completely
dry.
dry. Okay.
Yeah, everything is completely dry here now. Yeah. So really follow your photo reference for this because it'll give you a little bit of confidence when you're doing these marks. If a dot sprayer, if your marks are becoming too predictable, hit it with a dot sprayer and it will help your brush and your paint to grab some of these little water droplets and make more interesting marks. It really does help a lot. But really use your photo reference to give you some encouragement here. This is just it should just look like a tangled kind of a tangled mess. Just like a tree would, you know. Probably, I'm going to say, for those of you who wanted this painting, this is really an interesting part. These reflections that you know that came from these trees up here and just dissipated in the water. This is really what we're doing. So don't get afraid now. So I'm using indigo, and I'm also using a little bit of that color that I created using my dragon's blood and my indigo to create a little bit of a brown color. Yeah, gain some confidence by looking over here. Okay, gain some confidence by looking over here. There's so much going on.
Are the branches going through the trees or,
These are branches.
right, are they going through
Yeah.
the other trees?
Yeah, it's just it's the top of what would be up here is going on down here, just like you might see, you know, with you know, any tops of trees that are clumped together. There, this is going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, this is the tops of what we're not seeing in the trees, we're seeing in the reflections. If that makes sense. And don't stop your painting, you know, an inch from the edge, unless you're planning on cropping it. Have your marks go right off the edge. I do want to paint that log that's going across there. That really speaks to me because there's also a nice reflection on there. So it sort of starts here and it goes here. I don't know why I like that, but I do. So now there's a reflection of it in the water. It's funny, like sometimes the things that just speak to you, I can't exactly say why that spoke to me, but it did. Something about my eye traveling through all of this. I'm going to go back and do some more of the grass, hitting the edges. So again, larger when it's forward and smaller as you go back. So you could just really add this anywhere that you like. when you're painting these, I'm going to ask you not to do this. Don't do, okay? That's rudimentary. You're better than that. So have them clumped, have them separated, maybe some fold down a little bit. If you have to take your brush and just melt some of the marks down. This is more interesting than this. So really watch your patterns and really have fun with these marks. Even if you do this, you could still make it interesting by interrupting it a little bit, melting some of the marks down. Okay, so if you see you doing one, go to the other. Definitely do that. Really use the fine thinness of your rigor to give yourself little marks that you want to add. Now, there is that snowy rock that's right here. I did indicate it. I think it's like right about here. So I'm going to take my flat angled brush. Well, this is just a flat brush. Let me get a flat angled brush. And I'm just with a little bit of water, I'm just going to push some of that paint aside to get a little bit of a whiteness down to the paper. Not scrubbing it. Scrubbers will ruin your paper, right? But a flat angled brush will help you just move the paint a little bit out of the way. And then I could get a little bit of that shadow underneath it. We could use white paint. I haven't resorted to that yet. But if you need to, you do it. Oh, some other things that you might want to do that give you a little bit of kind of fun is some of these opaque colors that we have, the Holbein lavender and lilac, beautiful colors to add into your landscape. Even your Holbein Jaune Brilliant, which is a warm white, beautiful. Have some fun with it. The lavender is a little cooler, great color for winter scenes. Have some fun with these grasses. Larger, bigger, taller as they're towards you. Carry the clumps a little further than just one clump. They pop out of the snow here and there. Little dots and dashes help also suggest certain things. It's got a little heavier than I wanted right in here. Totally correctable. Clean water, flat angled brush helps me just sort of shift things that I'm not really happy with. It doesn't erase them, but it just softens it so that my eye isn't going to that spot as strong as it was. I'm just evaluating. I like the pink I added. I like these lilacs and colors I've added. I am thinking maybe a little bit of a glaze of dragon's blood, just a little bit right in here. Now this is dry, so I'm just feathering it up and feathering it down. I just gave it a little pop that I like. That's just a little glazing that I did. Just going over this a little bit, just a little glaze, just giving a little bit more color. That's the cerulean. I don't want the cerulean and the orange to interact too much because that will tone each other down. So this is dry, so I'm able to just give it a little bit of a glaze. Just shifting the color a little bit. That cerulean is pretty opaque, so you really can make sure that you have it anywhere that you really want it to be. So I'm adding a little bit of cerulean into the cool side of my birches. Yeah, it just cooled it down a little bit. I'm going to let this dry, maybe add some more branches down here, a little bit darker, but I'm going to let it dry for now because it's just a little too wet. Well, we have a little bit of a glow and we have a little bit of the birches that we got from the when painting that is up at the Land Grove. So we did a little bit of both. Hopefully you're both teams are happy. And if you wanted to go a little more one way than the other, then that's up to what you did on your painting. So I'm just going to stop right now and I'm going to see if anybody would like for me to take a look at their painting. Janine.
Sure.
Okay, and I see you, Wendy. Yeah, beautiful. That's coming out really nice.
Thanks.
Watch your pattern here. There's a little bit of a pattern in your grass. See it?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny? I know.
I feel like this one's too dark, the first one.
Yeah, I mean, you could lighten it or you could make the others darker.
Mm.
You know, melt them a little bit. If you glaze it, it'll tie them together. I think your birches could have a little bit more oomph in some of them, a little bit more dots and dashes. So I think you could go in a little bit more with that, but overall it looks beautiful. Just watch your pattern with your grasses.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, you see it, right? Now that you're holding it. Yeah.
Yes, yep.
Easy to fix.
Yeah.
Make sure that these are bigger and further apart and these are smaller.
Right.
So, and go thinner, finer, less detail. So good going. Nice, Janine. Beautiful.
Thank you.
And I know I saw Wendy. And I see your hand is up, Lisa, and then I see you, Rhoda. I'll get to everybody. And so I'm recording the critiques so that you guys will have that in the recording. Yeah, nice. That looks very, very striking. Yeah, Wendy, I really like it. I would maybe just watch your grasses. They tend to be a little evenly, right? You could see it like they're kind of the same shape.
Yep.
Yeah. It's funny how we do that. And you could see I did it too. And I think you could add more branches down here.
Okay.
Really make this a jungle of branches down there. But you achieved everything beautifully. Maybe hit a little golden on the side of the side that's facing the light, a little bit of glow on that side, and maybe a
Okay.
little cerulean on the other side.
Okay. All
Does that
right.
make sense?
Yeah, thanks.
Are
Yep.
you off to Switzerland?
I am. I have a pickup at 2:30, which is why I
Oh,
wanted to get early.
I know. I can't believe it.
You know what? It's took my mind off of like worrying about what I didn't manage to do. So yeah, it's good.
Well, have a great trip, Wendy. And that's beautiful. Thank you for coming on. And have a great time. Okay, I said Lisa, and then I said somebody else, and then Rhoda. Okay, Lisa, I see you. Okay, we have to turn your video on, Lisa. There you go. And your sound on. Does that help?
There we go. We good?
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Let's
never had
see.
I had to stop in the middle because my computer went down, and even though I had to
I
plug it
saw
in,
you had to leave, but then I
Yeah.
saw you come
and
back
now I'm
on.
on my
Yeah.
phone, so I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to do this.
So you have your background set to be blurred.
Oh
So
no! How do I
yeah,
undo?
it's in your video settings.
Okay, I got it. Okay, that I can do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah,
That's
it
good.
helps.
Sorry about that. Okay. And I'm actually in North Carolina, so I will be seeing you at SAL in December.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh, oh yeah.
Can you
I'd
see that?
say
I don't know.
I don't know if it's the lighting or your yellow seems a little green.
It does, because it is.
Okay. So glaze it with a little orange.
Okay.
That's easy to do. Just glaze it when it's dry with a little bit of orange.
Okay.
So it doesn't feel like a spring. That feels spring to me,
Okay.
right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I would give your birch trees a little bit more markings, especially the ones on the right-hand side.
Okay.
And I think those two things would really help. Yeah, I think that those two things, I'd like to see you. And then, of course, you're going to add more branches, I'm thinking,
Okay.
to the lower left, right?
That's
More
beautiful.
branches. Yeah, beautiful.
There we go.
Yeah, that's coming out really nice. And then add a little glow to the side of the trees that are facing the sun, and a little blue cerulean to the other side, to the
Okay.
cooler side, just to help bridge the palette. So a little warmth and a little cool will just help you carry color throughout the painting. It's a nice way to work it. Beautiful.
Thank you.
The water looks really nice. It looks really, really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice, Lisa. I think Rhoda, I said you next.
How to mute this?
Do you have birch trees where you are, Rhoda?
We have some, not a lot though. Yeah.
Oh,
we-
okay.
Yeah. It's not a dominant tree here, no.
Oh,
Mostly
okay.
evergreens. Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. You got to get me that sun on top so that I know where that big, yep. It's so soft.
It is very soft, yes.
And what you have here is so intense, they should match. You really should
Yeah.
have something. Yeah. And I would there's kind of a mark in there that I might soften once it's dry. Just take a damp brush and just, it's kind of like I don't know, some kind of the way that it dried. I love the color. It's just there's a mark in there. And
Right.
take that orange, right? And bring it into your sky, and then hit it on the side of the birches that are facing, the sun. So on the birches on the left, it's on the right side. The birches on the right, it's on the left side. Carry a little of your cerulean in there also. It's really
Okay.
coming out beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Say hi to Bob.
I will say hi to Fred. And hi, Janine.
Okay, Sarah, I see your hand up. I have short-term memory, guys, so just put your hand back up if I miss you. Oh, it's really nice, Sarah. Again, I
Thanks.
don't know if it's quite the color of that I'm seeing, but maybe
It's not. It's pretty muted.
okay. Okay, so I don't know if the golden needs to be a little warmed up or not.
I don't think so. I wish I,
No.
because my pick here, I have actually a lot of purpley because I used
Oh.
I mean I used a little bit of not purple, but like a purpley, like it's not Moon Glow, it's a different brand, but it's
Sure,
similar.
sure. So only you know for sure what's going on in your painting. I have to say you did a really great job with those trees in the background.
Thank you.
Now, the one thing that I see that you could correct is, let me point this out to you. The tops of the snowbanks should not be outlined. It should only be on the bottom, on the bottom, on the bottom. So the fact that it's both sides, particularly on the right side, you'd want to lift some of that off.
Okay.
Because it's not like an outline kind of thing. And it'll help your eye be carried through with these spots of darks as opposed to a zigzag all the way down. I know, by the way, that that's what's in the photo, but I knew not to have you do that. So I would just say wherever it's the top of the snow, eliminate that. And I know with these colors that you could do that. The trees look great. The branches, I think you could add more branches down here, really have them be tangled. And maybe it needs to be warmed up a little bit with orange, maybe not, because I might not be seeing the colors accurately.
Okay. Yeah, maybe could do a little bit, but a little bit of a glaze. It is a different color, like on this. It's very much muted on the screen.
It happens. We're going, over RGB, screen to screen, over the internet. It's a really tough call. But if you want to glaze it a little bit warmer, you could carry that yellow on your trees. It'll really add the glow super nice. And and maybe add a little bit, especially like your birches over here, maybe add a few more darker marks, but it's really looking great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Oh, Kathy. Okay. And then I see you, Teresa. Just remind me. All right, Kathy, show me where you are. Oh, there you are. Okay. Thank you. I have all your little faces on my screen, so I have to find you. So Kathy, do you want to unmute? I'll help you unmute. There you go. Yeah. So, hi, Kathy. How are you? Welcome. So a couple of little things that I'd like to see you do. The trees that you have here, I would love to see you carry it on. It's kind of stuck in between these two trees here. I'd like to see them carried out a little bit more on that left side and on the right side. Easy to do, right?
Yep.
Then when you get to your, I'm not sure, your glow might be a good color. It's hard for me to tell. But you might want to intensify it a little bit with a little bit of a glaze. That could be nice. And then your trees, keep your branches look a little unnatural on the bottom. What I'd love for you to do is really look at the source from the photograph and really give me a lot of more twigs intertwining and kind of getting nestled together on the very bottom left corner of your painting.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
I think those things, and also adding a little bit of warmth on the trees on the left, add a little warmth on the right and a little coolness on the left. That's a great place to bridge the palette and have a little bit more glow and warmth. And then on these, add a little bit of a glaze of the warmth on the left side and a little blue on the right. And that will really tie it together nicely. So when you build these here, you're building like in between these trees. So you want to carry that over. Overall, you did a great job.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's see. I think hold on. What did I just do? Oh boy, what did I do?
You haven't seen mine yet, Susan.
I'm going to get to everybody. I promise you.
Well, that's fine. I just didn't know if everyone's gone.
I will not, Susan, I will not let it go without seeing your painting. I promise you. I think I said Teresa next. So,
Yes.
okay.
I just wanted to tell you, I love this picture. It's such a beautiful winter scene. I did change it a little bit. I just added a deer over here.
Nice.
I only used, I think, 3 colors. I used the cerulean blue, and I used the raw sienna in the in here a little bit with
Right.
the grasses and all, and
Right.
a little bit of purple in here too, and basically that was it. So I don't.
So a limited palette really works. It does, especially in a winter scene. So I love that you added that cluster of more trees on that left side. It looks really very natural. I really love that. The left side, yeah, there, yep. To me, the only thing kind of missing is maybe more of the lower left corner, like your trunks of your trees stop, and there's no branches.
Oh, here.
Nope,
Here?
down here, lower left,
Oh,
lower left.
Yeah. Oh, this side. Oh, okay. It's kind of
Right.
stops it. Okay. So, oh, no tree branches in the water. Yeah, I didn't get that yet. Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Then when it comes to your deer, maybe a little bit more underneath the deer to give it a little bit more shadow, because the head looks really dark and the body looks really light. So maybe blend that a little bit. But beautiful. I love that you went rogue on me. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Really nice. It's a beautiful job. Yeah. I love when you guys go rogue on me. I love it. And Eileen, I see you. Oh, and then Julie, I see your hand up. Okay, so let's go to Eileen. It's fun seeing everybody's work, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Eileen, that's really, really nice. Really beautiful. I'd say more branches in your water. And I would do that thing that I was saying where a little bit of warmth on one side of the trees and a little coolness on the other side. It's a great place to bridge the palette. Your little forest in the background looks great. Watch that your grasses in front are bigger and these are much smaller. Just watch that. They're feeling a little the same. They feel a little matchy in size. So just, if you have to add more here and spread them out or whatever, do something to make these appear different than the ones in the background. Yeah, beautiful job. More branches on that lower left corner.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Wow. Okay, let's see. And Julie, your hand is up. Thank you. I get you. I see Christy. I see you, Christina. I'll get to everybody, I promise.
Okay. I kind of do my own thing, but anyway, this is what I came up with.
Yeah. Beautiful. And she even signed it already, guys.
It's kind of a mess. I feel like maybe I got a little lost with the water, but I tend to be more impressionist.
I don't know your style. What paper are you using? Is that Birches, Julie?
No, this is Kilimanjaro.
Oh, Kilimanjaro. Okay, good. All right. So you got the good paper. It looks like good paper because it's doing a lot of beautiful things. I would say you followed that one painting that I had done, which is perfectly fine to do that, and yet you still made it your own. It's colorful, it's loose, it's fun. I know what it is. Again, I don't know your style, but I do really like what I see.
Okay, thank you. It was really fun.
Do you have any questions?
Not right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do more like negative painting.
Yep.
I'm left-handed. For some reason, I tend to paint better on the right, and then I because I always start
yes
here, and then I come over here, and I don't know. Maybe
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And then I did do this one too.
Oh wow, you did, didn't you?
I go fast. I paint fast.
Well, there is a speed that I see that is giving you a very fresh approach. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I
And
try to animate it out and just leave it alone. Otherwise, I don't know. That's just what I do.
I like that you did what you did, and hopefully I was able to give you some guidance with that.
Yeah, it's really nice to hear your voice. I painted with you during COVID, and
Okay, I thought your name looked familiar. Yeah. Well, it's nice to have you on today. Thank you for coming on.
thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah. There's a speech. You got two paintings in. There's something to speed, I have to say. Okay, I know there was a lot of hands up. I saw Sunhee, then Joyce, and then Susan. Okay. It helps to see everybody's paintings, doesn't it?
Yes.
I love it. Hi, Sunhee.
Hi.
Yeah, that looks really nice. So again, I don't know if it's your camera, it looks to me like your sun is green. Probably isn't, right? Is it warm, Sunhee?
Is it me now? Are you talking about me?
Yeah, you. I'm talking about you.
Sorry, because I don't see mine on the screen, so I don't know if you.
Go to change your view to speaker view.
Oh. All right, do that.
So then you should just see you and me.
I don't know how to do that. Where is the speaker view?
Oh, upper on mine, it's the upper right-hand corner. It says view. Are you on a computer?
Oh, yeah, mine is on speaker view.
Oh, then you should just see you and me.
No, I see yours. It's on speaker view, yeah. Weird. Do you see mine?
I absolutely do see yours. You're right next to me. So I'm not sure if again, it's just how it's coming across on the the screen. It looks a little green to me.
Right? I think this is this stupid light. Maybe.
It could be. If it is green, I would just add a glaze of orange over it or something like that. You may not need to.
It's not definitely not green, but it's okay.
Okay.
Here, I had to go to the sink to blow this out because this is totally messed up here.
So you could do some reverse definition in there, You could do that easily.
Okay.
Yeah. And just hold it up a little bit more for me. Oh, and I would definitely get some more tree branches on that lower left side. Just like right off the paper. Yeah, you can even have them, guys. Mine is going lightly, but it goes right across the water. It doesn't have to stay on that left side. And it does give your eye a chance to move through the painting if your branches do come across the stream a little bit, because it makes you feel like the branches are coming across up on top, right? So that would happen on the bottom. That looks beautiful, Sunhee.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, let's see. Who did I say next? I know I said somebody next. I'm really sorry. Oh, Joyce, thank you. She's like, me, Jan. Nice. Yeah. There's such a beautiful looseness to the work that I'm seeing. It must be my screen. I'm seeing again, like the yellow glow is sort of on the cooler side. I would consider glazing it a little bit if you really want that glow, to get it just a tad warmer, would really help. And I would definitely add those branches to that lower side.
Put more across, right?
Yeah, right across here. Yep, right across here. Really add those branches. I love the log going across and the reflection. And I think, Joyce, that probably adding a little bit more dark on those embankments would actually pop it a little bit more too. And then if you don't have a little gold and blue on the side of your birches, do a little bit of that. But it looks beautiful.
Great, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And that was Joyce. And okay, Mary. Hi, Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty. So I like everything I see. Again, it must be me because it looks very bright yellow. What yellow did you use, Mary?
I'm not really sure. I have just like, a box with stuff in it.
A box
I'm
with
not
stuff.
really sure what color it is, but it's kind of, yeah, it's pretty bright. It's orangey, actually, but it
It
looks
is.
on the screen than it does in.
Okay. Okay, good. So then I wouldn't, I was going to say glaze it. I would add, I love the way you carried the colors through. I love the hint of the pinks throughout everything. I think that looks really good. Maybe, I love that you indicated some trees over here. Maybe do it a little bit more. I would love for that stream to go off to the right instead of straight up.
Yeah.
Maybe what you could do.
Because I don't like that either.
Okay, take a flat angled brush with clean water, and it should be just damp. You can just eliminate it.
Okay, all right. I'll try.
Easy to do, easy peasy. And give yourself more branches on that lower left corner.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful. Nice work. You guys should be so proud of yourselves. Sue, want to come on? Oh, look at that. So I'm going to say that probably because you didn't carry your trees off the top of the paper, that you're probably going to want to crop down a little, right?
Yeah.
Because it looks like you ended them and they're not all stubs. Either that or take your brush and go to the top, or, crop it off. Same thing with that left side, right? That paint didn't really go to the edge. So you're probably going to crop some of that off, but give yourself more branches down here, right in this. That's what it needs. Do that. And then add a little glow on the side of the trees that is facing the warmth, the sun. Yep. Yep, exactly. And a little coolness on the other side. And you nailed it.
Okay. Thank you.
Say hi to Amy.
I will. I was just with her. Yeah.
Okay. Deb, I didn't see you. Did you paint? I'm going to ask you to unmute. Oh, that's coming out beautiful. Keep going.
Yeah, I'll watch the video and finish up, but I got behind.
Mm-hmm. Well, the one thing that I'm going to say is what I see that I would love for you to fix is that, again, these embankments are not outlined, and that will really help your painting. So the tops is the water, okay? That creates that white mark. The bottom is where you add that heavy shadow. It's not top and bottom, it's bottom only. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you could take a flat angled brush and just get rid of those top heavy marks. You don't need them to tell the story. So it's not an outline, and give yourself way more branches. In fact, as soon as mine's dry, I'm going to add more branches to my lower right corner, my lower left corner. You only have the trunks of the trees, but you need those branches really to tell the story of the whole reflection of the tree.
Great, thank you.
You're so welcome. And Carol.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd say more branches on that lower left. And I think it looks great. What do you think?
I really like it.
Yeah.
I love doing the birch trees because they're more jaggedy and hard edges, which is like a problem for me because I do the whole thing jaggedy and hard edges. So, it's not as soft as I would like. The water isn't as soft.
What if you were to just hit it with your mist spray bottle and just kind of let some of the color kind of move around a little bit, and just drip off the bottom maybe.
The dot sprayer or the
no,
mister?
the mister, yeah. That might actually soften it a little bit for you and give you a chance that it's all wet again to drop in more color and just let it spread. You might enjoy doing that.
Okay.
You use the tri-wedge on the birches. Yes, right?
Yeah, I love it.
It really does work. Yeah, good. You really used it well. Beautiful. I think it's really coming out great. I would definitely add, when you're further along, more of the tall grass, that's coming out of the out of the snow. But it really came out great.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Linda. Hi, Linda. And then I see you, Donna. Your birches look great, Linda.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah, I would just glaze a little bit of warmth on the side that faces the sun and a little blue on the other side, just to cool it a little bit. Hold it up a little bit more for me, just up a little bit. Don't make that scrunchy face.
Because I just messed that up, and I had real trouble trying to figure out the tops versus the bottoms of the edges. I just couldn't figure that out.
Okay. Yeah. So I could see you had a little trouble with that. But though, listen, you're using good paper, you're using good paints. We could lift a lot of that off. And if it doesn't work with your flat angled brush, a damp flat angled brush, you could carefully go in and just lighten it with the edge of a Mr. Clean Magic eraser.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, I have to figure out, and I just can't see it, the bottoms and the top. I see it on yours, but I can't see it on mine. So,
yeah.
Okay, so put a glow on the side where the sun is reaching.
Correct. So on the trees on the left side, the glow is on the right. The trees on the right side, the glow is on the left.
Right, got it.
Okay? Yeah. And then way more branches.
Way more branches.
Way more branches. Let me just show you how, I have a lot of branches and I'm going to add a lot more.
Okay. And dark, are they?
They're not super dark. I mean, I think the color that you have is good, but you kind of want them to, this idea that they kind of touch the other side of the stream would be really nice. And the other thing is that there is a little pattern in the 3 spots that you have.
I know, and now what I do with it. I noticed.
Okay. So again, your flat angled brush, you can lighten one of them and just sort of let's say I wanted to get rid of this one here.
Right, I did.
I've just melted into, that one's too big. Let me go a little. And you can also take your Mr. Clean and that would also do it. So
I'm going to try those things. I had no idea how to get rid of it. I realized it and I said, now what do I do?
So look, I just sort of melted those marks, right? And it gives me an opportunity. I'm just lifting with a soft angled flat brush.
Okay.
But I didn't destroy the fibers of the paper. I don't know what a Mr. Clean Magic eraser would do. It might be okay, just test it in another area.
I will try it.
Yeah, but you're close. You're really close. So just keep going. And
Thank
it's
you
good to
so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay. Christine, I saw you and I don't see Bob, oh, Donna, okay, so Donna, let me come to you first, and then Christine, I'm coming to you, and then Bob, I'm coming to you. And just remind me if I screw up. Ah, very
Here I
nice.
am.
Yeah.
Well, this was
So,
supposed to be a draft. Yeah, I have. This is what I was
Oh.
supposed to paint, and I wound up just painting right off along with you on this little thing. So I will go back, and whatever I learned will be on the big one. But
Okay.
here it is.
It's looking great. Yeah.
All right. I think I did the same thing that everybody else did. That edge on this side.
Yeah. Easy
Although,
to fix.
yeah. I know it's easy, and I'll do that on the other one. But I'm looking at
So-
the photograph. I think the photograph. This is like a perfect example of the photograph
Right.
misleading
The photograph
you
has
know.
this dark edge everywhere. I opted not to do that, and I opted to
Right.
do this where
Yes.
it's just on the bottom. So it's just one of those little pitfalls that I know that is easy to do, to mess up. But knowing that,
Right.
I know that the shadow will be, if the sun is behind it, the shadow falls forward. That's how I knew to do that. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I like your warm up.
It's a warm up. Thank you so much. It was a joy.
You're welcome.
Really. As
You're
always.
so welcome. So fun. Okay, and then I said Christina. Hello. That is looking great. You got that sun coming in, or a light or something. There you go. Okay, awesome. Beautiful. Yeah, I really love it. I would just add some, yeah, I can't hear you for some reason. I'm not sure why. But you could thin that out with a Mr. Clean eraser, or a flat angle brush, or even a little bit of white paint. I think you're talking about having that stream go like to a little nothing, right? Yes, exactly. Easy to fix. Easy to fix. I would definitely add more branches in that extreme lower left corner, and put a little glow on each side of your trees. So you'll see I added a little bit of glow on one side and a little bit of blue on the other. Do that. That's really a nice way to bridge the palette. Yeah, very nice. And I would say, again, part of our, you know what you might want to try is, I would spray the water here with your mister that has a little bit of gum arabic in it. And I would let some of that paint just kind of softly swirl around, just because it looks like there's a lot of fussy marks in there. And I would like to see it a little smoother, like it's water. And I think that that would help. Let that dry and then add your branches again. Does that make sense? Yeah. I think you could really, those few things, and I think you really, you'll be really happy with that. Good, good, good. Excellent. Did I say Bob next? Hello, Bob. And spotlight. Hello,
Hi.
Bob.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, can you see?
I can. Yeah.
Okay.
So what yellow did you use?
Let's see, the quinacridine gold.
Oh. Okay. So it needs a little warmth. The queen gold is a little cool, and I think you should glaze it with a little bit of warmth, whatever that is. So I used Queen Gold Deep, which is more orange. So I would just tone it down a little bit and glaze it with a warmer color.
Okay.
Okay. And then I would definitely have like build in between here, right? Darker.
Okay.
You have the perfect situation of that stream going back, right? You're going back into that stream. So now what do you do here to have your eye kind of move through the painting? It's a perfect opportunity to build that And build it a
More-
little bit on the left too. Yeah, a little darker, a little reverse definition.
More contrast.
Yeah. And then when you're here, the grass here should be bigger, taller, wider than as you go back. It should get thinner, smaller, closer together. So right now they're kind of reading the same, right? It will help carry your eye back through the painting and saying we're going back in a distance. Those couple things will really, and more branches, way more branches on the extreme bottom left.
Okay.
Yeah. Very nice.
Okay,
Those things,
thank you.
they bring it around. You're welcome. You're so welcome. Where are you? You look like you're in warm weather.
I'm in Florida.
Oh, look at that. Would you please? Okay.
It's tough.
Yeah, that's rough going, I have to say. I feel really bad for you. Okay. Who didn't I get to? Kathy, I think I did. Karen, I don't have your video, and Helen, I don't have your video. I don't know if you guys want to come on or not. Maybe not.
You did me.
Okay. All right, good. And Diane, I saw you came in late, so you probably didn't have a chance to paint. Okay, so I'm going to just pause this. Well, I have to say that was extraordinary paintings today. I was really impressed. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope you realize that a photograph and a painting are two different things, and you could go in any direction you want. And that's really one of the big takeaways. Make it your own. And well, have a great day. And this is Jan Guarino, Fearless Watercolors. And if you'd like my tips and ideas, they're in my book, Thinking Your Way Through Watercolors. So it's available in soft and hardcover. If you want, open it up to any page, and there is a thought to think that will help you with a photograph attached to it of my paintings to kind of guide you along with it. So, yeah, I hope you get it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it helps. All right, Jan Guarino, Fearless Watercolors. See you again soon.